Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Come on in. Just trying to find us live here. I know I'm live. I just can't find it. Hang on a second. Okay, maybe I'll just wait a second. I can't find me on Facebook. Hello. Says I'm live. Oh, there I go. Boy, that took a bit. Hi, Tina. How are you today, my friend? How's the sound and view, Tina? Does it look okay? Want to make sure you can all hear me, see me okay. Let me know if you could, please. Hi, hi. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Kim on YouTube. Thank you so much. Hi, Margaret. Thanks so much for joining me today. Just going to wait just a second before more people come in. I hope everyone is doing well today. It's a very nice day here. It's been a little chilly this week, but it's very nice today. Hi, Diane. Everything's good. Thank you very much. I'm glad the view and the sound is good today. Well, my friends, today I'm going to use something I was really excited that Lori was going to bring into the shop. Hi, Joyce from Ohio. Pam on YouTube. Hi, Tara. If you don't know who I am, welcome to Unique in the Creek. My name is Judy. I am a designer on Team Unique. I thank you for your time and appreciate you joining me today. If you are new to the page, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because if you need to see any replays, they are all available on the Unique in the Creek YouTube page, okay? So it's a great resource. You can watch them 24/7 and as many times as you want, and it's completely free. If you need craft supplies, please go to uniqueinthecreek.com, and when you check out, if you could put code Judy in capital letters, JUDY, in the checkout code before you pay, I'd appreciate that. That is my affiliate code, and it does give me a little bit of something so I can keep buying supplies to do the live tutorials for you. It's greatly appreciated, and thank you so much. Hi, Alicia, Tara, Diane, Ruth, hello. From Moose Jaw. Wow, I was in Moose Jaw, Diane, last month. We went to the tunnels of Moose Jaw to see Al Capone's tunnels. It was quite interesting. Our daughter's an actor, and she was in a production in Regina. So one afternoon, we just took a drive out there because, in all fairness, Regina doesn't have much to do when it's chilly out. So we decided to take a drive, and we ended up in Moose Jaw. So thanks for joining me, Diane. Hello, everybody. Carol Ann, hello, my friend. Okay. Oh, and Lynette, North Carolina on YouTube. Thank you. So first of all, today, everything I'm using is in the description box below on Facebook and YouTube. Some of the greens are from other sources. I am trying to use the greens that are available on the Unique in the Creek site. I know with the sites are a little bit different in US and Canada. I don't know exactly the ins and outs. I know Lori and Dave are working relentlessly to try to make everything available that's possible to both Canadians and US. Okay, I did give you the SKUs, so if it's not available in the US website for the US customers, you probably can find it somewhere else for the Canadians. All of this is available for you as well, okay? Hi, Lynn Broadbent. Thanks for joining. So I'm going to do my typical signature wreath. I guess it's the ring board with deco mesh, florals, ribbons, and my bucket of magic that I actually have down sitting next to me on the floor. Okay, but I am going to do something a little bit different. But I was really excited for this design because Lori now has six, well, she's always had 6 and 8 inch signs and vinyls, but now she has 10-inch signs. When I saw that, I was super excited. I mean, I love the 8-inch signs. I love the 12-inch signs. I love the 6-inch signs. The vinyl, I love them all. Okay, but I was really excited to use a 10-inch sign, and look at the one I picked to do today. Is that not the cutest little longhorn or Highland little calf? I'm not sure. Is it? It must be a Highland, right? Highland. Well, yes, I am. Hi, Patrice on YouTube, and B.L. Hoffman from Nebraska. Thank you so very much. Carol, thank you. Good afternoon. So is this not the cutest little sign? Oh my God, look at that face. Oops, sorry, the ring light. Look at that face. How cute is she? So I decided to do this, and I am going to do it on the ring board, okay? But something I'm going to do a little bit differently. I am going to do inside poofs and then woodland ruffles on the outside, okay? So I'm going to show you, I did do the poofs and a few woodland ruffles already on the wreath just to save time, but I am going to show you how to do the poofs in the middle, okay, on an empty ring board. So I'm going to bring you down to the board and we'll get started. Okay, my friends, so just hang on a second here. Make sure you're straight. No, I think that looks pretty good. You can all see that okay, I hope. I know, Lynn, isn't it adorable? I just love that sign. So anyway, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ring board, my favorite board. I mean, I love all the boards, but I do love the ring board. Hi, Deborah. How are you? I've got my bucket of magic on the floor next to me. Okay, so the ring board, I did inside every other. Really doesn't matter where you started. I think on this one I started at the top and went every other, okay? So you're going to put a zip tie between the middle and the inside hole, just like that, every other spot. And then I did 10-inch poofs. And what I'm doing it with is this horizontal natural mesh, Deco Poly mesh. The SKU is in the bottom, in the description box, but I will read it out to you. It's RE890018. Okay, it's in natural. It's a natural color because I didn't want anything to really, take away from the sign. I wanted kind of a neutral base, okay? This is going to be a very earthy looking neutral design, nothing too bright. Okay, but this is the leftovers that I have after I did my inside poofs and after I did my ruffles. And I cut my ruffles at 20 inches, okay? And this is what I have left. So I'll show you how you do a poof in case you're not familiar with that technique. I've done it before with 21-inch and different deco mesh. I think this might be the first time I've done 10-inch poofs with horizontal wide stripe mesh. Okay, so what you're going to do is just ruffle up at the end like this, kind of like an accordion, just pinch it up. It does not matter if this is going to fray because, well, it is going to fray, but just put it in your zip tie like this and do it up. Okay? So that's going to be your very first tie. And you're also going to take another zip tie over that because you're going to come back around and do a poof in there. And I'll explain that to you in just a second. Okay, so then what you do, you can use either your mat, a ruler, you can guesstimate as well. I mean, it's once you start doing it a bit, you'll find that you can kind of gauge what you're doing. But you take it here, you run it through your hand and kind of make sure that these edges aren't up like that. Kind of make sure that your edges are down because it'll make a prettier poof. because that's the poof you want, okay? So you're going to take your hand and run it down. You're going to start it on a line. So for instance, this is 15. I'm going to run it down to 10. I'm sorry, to 5. Okay? And you're just going to pinch it right there. Then you're going to go to your next zip tie. Good afternoon. The zip ties are from Unique in the Creek. They're 6.3-inch zip ties. They come in a bag of 100. I will show you. They come like this, okay? And they are available on the website. And if you just put in the search bar zip ties, it'll pop up right away. The elastic bands I got, I think these came from Amazon. This is before Lori started selling rubber bands, but she sells rubber bands as well on uniqueinthecreek.com. Hi, Rebecca. Okay, so then you take your poof, okay, your 10-inch poof. You're going to pull it out, bring it back, and put it in that zip tie. Okay? So you bring it back and take your poof. I'm going to take those edges and I'm just going to tuck them under a little bit, but make it poofy, okay? Then you're going to do the exact same thing. Run your hands gently down the mesh. Kind of sticks. And take it to 10 inches, which is right there, and poof it up and put it in your zip tie. Okay? And you're going to do that all the way around every other inside hole. Now when you get back to this part here, you're going to come around, sorry, I probably should have thought about that, but you're going to come around with a poof. Okay, you're going to come around and it's going to come out as a poof. You're going to take the edge of that poof and you're going to just clip it in here and tuck it under and zip tie it in. Okay, I'll kind of show you on my finished board if I can. So I hope that makes sense. And then when you're done, the last poof and your last zip tie, you just cut it off. Okay, and that's how you do a poof on your ring board or any board. Okay, well that's how I do it. I do 10-inch poofs, and if you're using 21-inch mesh, you're going to do it exactly the same way. You're just going to have more mesh poofs. Okay, any questions on the poof? Any questions? No? Okay, so then on the after you do the inside poofs, you're going to take, here I'll just show you now that I've shown you how to do the poofs. This is what we're going to do today, okay? Once you get your poofs done, okay, you're going to take another zip tie. So this is where we did the poofs, middle to inside. You're going to take another zip tie from the middle to the outside. So on every other, sorry, you can't really see, on every other set of holes, you're going to have 2 zip ties, skip, 2 zip ties, skip, 2 zip ties, skip. Okay, all the way around. So you're going to have 16 zip ties, 8 on the inside, 8 on the outside. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, so then once you do your poofs, you get your other zip ties in, we're going to add a woodland ruffle. Okay, just a 20-inch piece of mesh. Well, this is crooked now because I cut it, but you're going to take a 20 piece of mesh and just cut it, and this is what you're going to do. Okay, you're going to have a 20 piece of mesh just like this. All right, then you're going to take it, I flip it so it's curls, so it flips up like that, so it rolls up. That's how I do my woodlands. Okay, make sure you have a paper, not a paper clip, pin, clothespin or a clip like this. I don't do big woodland ruffles like big rolls. I just tuck it in a little bit, roll a couple times and pinch it. Flip it around, roll, flip, clip, And then I'm just going to do it the same way and roll it. Now, I did not wood burn this mesh because I'm rolling it. If frays really, really bother you, then you could wood burn it. But I did not. Okay, I did not wood burn. So then you're going to get a ruffle that looks like this. So this is curl down, and this is curl up. So curl up, once you put it in the zip tie, will poof up a little bit more. Okay, it makes it a bit fuller. But today we're going to do, oddly enough, we're going to do curl down. Okay, we're going to do a little bit, well, it's not going to be flat. Don't kid yourself, it's going to be pretty full. But we're going to do curl down. Okay, so you just kind of want to make sure that your edges here are as even as you can. Like, you know, it's going to be a little off if the corner's poking out a little bit. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to take the nicest end, which to me this one here is the nicest end. Then we're going to go, sorry, I've got my hanging hole in there already. We're going to go into that zip tie that I put next to the inside hole. Okay, we're going to put a woodland ruffle right there. And on top of that woodland ruffle, we're going to put a set of ribbon tails. Now, this ribbon tails are cut at 13 inches today. 13 inches. I range from 13 to 14 inches unless I'm doing a really big faux wreath that needs to go over. If I'm doing lots of mesh, then I might cut 15. I've even cut 16 sometimes. Okay, but today I'm doing 13 inches. All right. You're welcome, Kathy. I hope that helps you. Anitria. Did I say that name, your name right? Anitria. That's very pretty. Welcome. Hello. Okay, so the 13-inch tails I cut, and I cut this kind. It's a tricolor. Now, I apologize. I do not think Lori has this again in her shop. She may be bringing it back because a lot of her, I mean, let's face it, this is more of a fallish color ribbon. But she does have other tricolor ribbons in there. If you ever see it on the website, do purchase because it's a great quality ribbon. These ribbons are really sturdy, really nice, hold their shape, great wire, and it doesn't fray as much. You know, some ribbons tend to fray a little bit more. This one's quite nice. Okay, it's the tricolor with brown, natural, and sage green. And then on top of it, I'm going to put this pretty embossed ribbon. Carolyn, I know you love faux wreaths. Okay, so this is the embossed green ribbon. It's very pretty. It's kind of shiny, but it's very pretty. I love the embossed ribbons. I'm not gonna lie. I have a ton of them. But I just find they add color, but they add a little bit of texture because the ribbon's not just a flat, solid color, right? Okay, so anyway, so 13-inch set of tails are going to go on top of my 20-inch woodland ruffle. Now I'm going to roll or pinch my ribbons. I'm going to angle it a little bit. Now with the tricolor, one thing I like to do, you do not have to do this. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't really bother me, but I like them to look consistent. See, if you did the tricolor, I'll just fold this up and show you. Okay, the way I folded that, if you look here, it's tricolor green, tricolor green. But on the tricolor, the brown is on the bottom. See, the brown is on the bottom. So here, I want to make sure all my brown ends are on the bottom. Because if I flipped my ribbon up or folded it upside down the other way, then your green is on the bottom. Do you see that? I mean, listen, friends, that is not going to be a big deal. I don't think, I mean, you could go every other or anything like that. Oh, Guadalupe, I was wondering where you are. Hello, nice to see you. So do you see the difference though? It's not a huge difference, right? Either green's on the bottom or brown's on the bottom. I just started doing brown on the bottom So I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to go around and do it the same way. So when you have ribbons that look like that, you just kind of want to make sure, A, you do every other, or B, you just do all of them the same way, because that way it's consistent. Okay? Again, maybe some people don't care. Some people probably wouldn't even notice. Okay? But it's just something to keep in mind. All right, friends? Okay, so you got your 20 piece of mesh. I'm going to go curl down. So I'm going to keep that pinch, okay? Keep that pinch and put it on top of your zip tie. Just like that. Take your ribbon tails and put it right in the middle of that mesh and zip up that zip tie just slightly, okay? Halfway. Not completely closed. Because that way you can straighten out your mesh if it's not as even. You can straighten out your ribbon tails to make sure they're even. And once they are, push down on that center and pull your zip tie to the back. And the reason I say that is because it lifts up those ribbon tails. Okay, it shoots it up to keep it up. Oh, well, this is crooked again, but anyway, we're gonna have to fix those. So you go through, you know the drill, you go through ribbon tails and just pull out those divots. Oh, you're babysitting your grandkids, Guadalupe? Well, that'll keep you on your toes. That's for sure. Well, I appreciate you joining me today as always. It's always nice to see you. And everyone else, I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, so then those are the tails. Very earthy, right? Very natural looking. I think it's going to be perfect with the sign. Now, my friends, if you see this, if you get a little fray in the middle of your tails or your woodland ruffles, you just take your scissors and clip it off a little bit. Okay? Just so you can't see it. Again, no one's probably going to notice except us. We'll notice it because we're perfectionists when we make our crafts. But the person who's looking at it's not going to say, oh my goodness, there's a piece of fray. Okay? So don't stress out about it. So any questions on that procedure right there? So 10-inch poofs on the inner, so 8 poofs, and now 8 woodland ruffles and sets of tails. Okay? So I've got a couple made. So what might make it easier for you as well, and it actually helps me as well because I have really bad hands. If you take your mesh and you can roll it up, okay? So you roll up your mesh, you take, if you have 4-inch zip ties, or you can take the Unique in the Creek zip ties, you just put it around the center and you zip it up. Okay, so then you have your mesh that you can put on top and you don't have to worry about it coming undone, okay, because you've got your mesh together. Well, it won't stay on the zip tie until I put it in there, but oh, Felicia, you're sneaking me in at work. Well, hello, thank you. Okay, and then you take your set of tails. Again, I crisscross it, which is a technique that Lori showed us quite a while ago, and I think it's genius because it helps you kind of set your tails already. Okay, then you flip. I flip up, some people flip down. Okay, just when you do it, just make sure you're kind of consistent. It just helps in your designs of your ribbon. Pinch that little center so you have that. Okay, just like that, and then you're going to take your mesh, put it in, and zip it up. Okay, so this part is pretty redundant, which is why I already did half the wreath this way, because you can only see somebody roll mesh for so long, right? You want to get to the good stuff. I mean, this looks pretty, but you want to get to the good stuff. Okay, so push down on that mesh and tighten that zip tie. And pull out your divots in the center. And I'm glad I did it, Anitria. Okay. Okay, so woodland ruffle again, 20 inches. Roll in the edge a little bit and Do your little rolls. You can do bigger rolls. You can even do an inner a mesh from your, like a, some people use these, the empty mesh wood set. Oh my goodness, the inner cardboard from your mesh. And some people do that. But I find on a 20-piece inch of mesh anyway, it's a bit too big. So I literally just pull in the roll a little bit and roll up the center. If I did a 36-piece of woodland ruffle mesh, then I would do that. I would use that method with the mesh roller. Okay, but right now I'm just doing a 20-piece, much easier to it's easy to handle, so it's not a big deal. Hello, Carrie from Illinois. Thanks for joining. Okay, so then we're going to take our tails. Again, they're cut at 13 inches. Everything again is listed in the description box below if you need SKUs or you want to know what I used. Oh, sorry, that's down. I'm doing ruffle down, or woodland ruffle down. Almost made a mistake there, but no big deal. One thing about Unique in the Creek boards, very easy to fix. You just cut out the zip tie and do it again. That's all you have to do. So you see, when you zip tie the mesh already, it does make it a bit easier, okay, to handle. But you can do whichever way is easier for you. All right. Okay, pull out the divots. Again, we'll have to go through and fix the ribbon tails anyway. Hi, Albert. The mesh roller, yep. Again, if you see a fray or thread, don't pull, cut. Okay, there you go. We have one more. I've already rolled it down. We're going to put it rolled down, do our last set of ribbon tails, and we'll get to the good stuff, okay? We'll put the sign on first, then we'll probably do a bow, and then we'll put in our goodies from the Bucket of Magic. There's lots to choose from today, my friends, lots to choose from. Last week I did a flower, so if you didn't see that one, please go check out the Unique in the Creek YouTube channel. If you ever want to see different wreaths or you need to see replays or get inspiration, please don't forget to check out that page on YouTube. It's a great resource, and it's great to just to, you know, learn new different techniques. There's 5 Team Unique designers. We all have our own playlists, so it's very easy to find us. Okay, so here is your base. Hi, Susan. Yes, the colors. I love greens. I love neutral colors. I love spring, don't get me wrong, but pastels are not my color. Personally, I'm a earthy, rich, warm color person. So fall is coming up, and I am excited for that, like to design. I'm not excited for summer to go away. I'm just excited. I love creating with fall colors. Okay, so there's the base. Pretty. Okay, now the sign. What I did was I'm going to put it on the right, just like I normally do. Where's the top? I'm probably going to go 2 down and 2 up. Let's see how that works. I put the sign cable mounts. I put E6000 on the cable mounts after I took the sticky back off. Also, Unique in the Creek sells, in the kit, you get this one with the, you get this one with the sticky on it. So peel the sticky and the cushy part off. But Unique in the Creek also sells ones without backing, which is so much easier, right? Especially if you have bad thumbs, you don't have to pull that thing off. Oh, thank you, Albert. Albert put the link to the Unique in the Creek YouTube channel there if you are not familiar with that. Thank you, Albert. That's very nice of you, and I appreciate that. So the 10-inch sign, this is the first 10-inch sign I've ever used. I've used 6, 8, and 12, but this 10-inch sign is my first one. Okay, so look how cute, right? I put, well, it's not very close to the center, but I try to do center right down. I missed a mark a little bit here. I'm off by about 1/2 inch. That's okay. I don't think that's going to bother it. So let's see if we can get this in, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'll show you in just a second, okay? Once I get this sort of semi-attached. Again, the sign is always the worst part, right? Yes, Lynn, the bucket of magic's coming. Okay, I'm just gonna gently twist this so I don't lose the ends. Okay, and then up here. And if I'm happy with this positioning, then I will show you. Otherwise, I may have to take it off and redo it. Okay? Just a second. Does anyone have any questions so far about what I've been doing or what I've done? Okay, let me just, okay. Come here, little buddy. You got to get you situated. Now remember, you don't want to put your sign on so it squishes flat, right? You want it kind of floating. You want it kind of floating on top, but you want it sturdy enough that it doesn't squish from side to side. If that makes sense, okay? So let's see if we can figure this out. I might have to adjust where I put that. Sorry, I just need to hang this up quickly to see if that's straight. I have a feeling that's crooked. I don't know. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. This is what the sign looks like. Okay, so it's kind of you don't squish the ribbons. The ribbons still come out nice. Well, we'll fix the ribbons, but you know, you don't want it squished. You don't want your wreath squishing anything, all right? I do need to adjust this though. It seems to be off just a tad. Maybe if I go, hang on please. I think, and then I will show you where I'm putting this, because I think I might move this pipe cleaner up one. Hold please. This is where we talk amongst ourselves. Hi, Susan. Oh, Margaret, thank you, Margaret. No, it's not a kit, but I've listed everything in the description box, and it's all available at uniqueinthecreek.com. Okay, let's see if that's a bit better. I think that might be sitting better. Because I missed the mark on the center a little bit, it's a little off center. Oh, but I think he'll be cute. I think he'll be fine, just fine. I think he'll be fine. Okay, so I will show you where I put this sign. Actually, I think I might move this one too. Apologize. This one's a little bit easier to see. Okay. Okay, my friends. Sorry about that. The dilemma. The sign positioning. Okay. So here's where I put the sign. This is the top of the wreath right here. Okay. I put it 2 down and right from the bottom and 2 up, and I put it in the middle and the outside hole. Okay. At least that's where I'm going to put it for now. It might change. Yes, Albert, you want to snug the sign down, but don't squish the mesh or your ribbons. Like, you don't want the ribbons not to come out from the ruffles, right? The ribbon tails that are underneath the sign, right on this end though, sometimes you have to be careful because you want to make sure it comes out. You got to pull it out from under the sign sometimes, okay? So don't forget to do that. Okay, so we'll go around and we'll fix the ribbons again, okay, because we all know we have to. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then I think we're going to do a bow, and then we'll add our bucket of magic. So in the sign, I have this ribbon. It's a caramel embossed ribbon, just like the green. Okay, and it's a very pretty color. It'll go perfect with this sign. And since I didn't use it in the tails, I'm going to use this in the bow. Okay. Right, the U.S. kits for U.S. shipment, yes, unfortunately. But I believe all this for the supplies, I believe it's all, except for some of the greenery. Okay, but this base and the sign, the mesh, and I believe all the ribbons are available on the U.S. site. Again, I put the SKUs down, Susan, so I hope that helps you find if you wanted to replicate this design. If not, listen, I'm trying to use up things I have in my supply, like this tricolor ribbon. I only had enough for 8 tails. Okay, but I wanted to use it up. I want to use up some of my supplies, my little half rolls of ribbon, things like that. And I have other natural mesh. This is the horizontal wide stripe. If you have a jute natural, anything like that, you can certainly use that, okay? Just remember, often we can't get the same things that everybody else can get. Like the people in the UK, I don't even know where they go. Luscious Lobbies in the UK sells the Unique in the Creek boards, but I'm not sure if they sell other, ribbons and designs like that. Okay, so anyway, this is one of the ribbons I'm going to use for the bow. In fact, let's move this out of the way because it is quite big. Let's pull up my Easy Bow Design Pro. If you go to uniqueinthecreek.com, if you need a bow maker, they have the Easy Bow Stow and Go. It's a bit smaller. It's more packable. But this was given to me as a gift. I quite like it. And so I use this. I do have the original Easy Bow, the blue and white one. It's a little bit narrower, but I quite like this one. But if I was to buy another one, I would buy the Stow and Go simply because of the size. I mean, this sucker is pretty heavy too. Okay, so enough chatter. I also have this really pretty, it's got some ribbon. It's a 1.5. It's got sunflowers on it, if you can see, throughout the ribbon, and green and brown leaves. It's on a nice little canvasy ribbon. I'm not sure. I have this left over from a roll that I bought at a local nursery at Christmas time a couple years ago. I really like it. I think I'm going to incorporate it in the bow because I've got just a little bit left. It's a nice little burlap weave. I've got the 1-inch caramel, just like this one, that I might use in the top. I have the sage green that I used in the tails. I've got the embossed brown that I might use. I've also got this sparkly 7/8 brown that might be pretty. I have a natural 1-inch crosshatch ribbon. These are all options, okay? I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I kind of wanted to incorporate this 7/8 sunflower yellow. After I make my bow, I might add just the center to see if it'll look okay, but I think the yellow is too bright a color. But if I just put a little bit in, it might be okay, because this is really beautiful ribbon. Okay, really beautiful. It's double-sided, actually. You probably could use the other side because it's just beautiful. Yes, Albert, the 3-color tricolor is not available. I mentioned that earlier, that it might come back when Lori gets some of her fall supplies in, because she doesn't have all her fall supplies in, right? Yes, Craft Outlet. If you cannot get some things, if you are in the States, Unique in the Creek, we all know, had to limit some things that they could ship to the United States for orders. So if you cannot find it on Unique in the Creek, after you've done your shopping there, if you need other supplies, please check out Craft Outlet. He has tons of things there. And they also sell the Unique in the Creek boards at Craft Outlet as well. So there's lots of options, okay? Yes, the green is very pretty. Okay, so I'm going to start with this caramel 2.5 inch. It's the only 2.5 inch I'm going to use. Now, you know me, I cut my tails long, and typically I always have to cut them back, but I don't want short tails. If I decide to do a longer tail wreath on this one, I want to be sure to have that option, okay? So I'm going to make about a 12-inch tail. I'm going to twist, okay? And then I'm going to do about a 6.5, oh gosh, sorry, a little crooked here, 6.5 inch loop. Okay, oh, I'm all twisted up here. Maybe 7 inches, probably 7, closer to 7. Okay, let's just say 7. Oh my goodness. Okay, 7 inches. And then flip around and do another 7 inch, just like that. Now, if you know me, you know I like up tails, so I'm going to put a little tail up here after I do my loops. Okay, that's a little bit long. Okay, right there. Pinch that down. And I'm going to bring up a tail again. I make these longer because I don't exactly know where they're going. And I hate having a short, stubby tail if that's not what I wanted, right? Okay, so you make sure your loops are the same. There we go. So it's like an X, right? Tail, tail, loop, loop. Just like that. Then, I don't have a lot of print in this one because I don't have any more of that tricolor, but that's okay. Then I think we're going to go, no, I'm going to use actually this ribbon twice. I'm going to use it right now. I have to stand up, I think. I'm going to use it right now. And then I think I might use it again closer to the top. So I'll do about a 6.5 inch loop, just shy of that first loop. Like a finger width shy of that first loop. So about 6.5 inches, okay? Can you guys see this? Sorry, I might be out of frame. Let's put that, okay? Cut off your tail. Then I'm going to use the green. Now, my friends, you do not have to do your wreaths exactly, or your bows the same way. I often change my bows. I'll put 2 loops here, 3 loops here. I mean, you know, 2 loops, 4 loops. I don't really have a recipe, except that I do this style quite often. But I might add an extra loop here and there for this one because I don't have a lot of print patterned ribbon. I'm going to use that pattern ribbon again. And again, I just go a little bit smaller than before. Okay, so it's going to look, so far it'll look like this. And you can move your loops as you're making your bow. Makes it a little bit easier. Honestly, I find I do have to move my loops a little bit anyway, but it kind of gives you the vicinity of where you want to put those loops, okay? So far we have that. Okay. Then I'm going to use this brown embossed as well. I have a lot of embossed ribbon in here. In fact, most of them are going to be embossed, but that's okay. I love this embossed ribbon. I love the feel of it. I think it looks pretty cool. Again, just a bit shy of the green previous ribbon. Now I have this burlap. Not sure if I need this burlap. Yeah, I will. I'll use it. Okay, so this one will go Sorry, I kind of talk to myself when I do my bows because, again, I don't really have a formula for it. I just kind of do them as I go. I'm going to do this one smaller. Again, and pull that out. Cut that off. Well, that's okay. We'll figure that out. I didn't really want the 2 long tails each, but that's okay. I did it that way, so we're going to leave it that way. It's totally fine. There we go. Okay, so something like that. And then I don't think I'm going to use this one. I think it might be a bit too light. Well, not light, but, you know, I might use this burlap, and then I'm going to use the center. Okay, so let's do this. Again, you don't need to do this many ribbons either. I do a lot of ribbons in my bows. You do not. You can use 2 ribbons, 3 ribbons, 4 ribbons. How many do I have here now? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using 6 ribbons probably. Because, oh, and I still have some of that burlap. I can use that for center loops. And then I'm going to do a center loop. Should I do a sparkly center loop or just the caramel center loop? I'm thinking the sparkly might look cute. Let's try it. If we don't like it, we can take it out. It's literally going to be just a small center loop. Yep, I think it'll look fine. We're going to do it that way. Cut that out. Perfect. Okay. Oh, dang, I cut that way too long. That's okay. Now, I like to use a zip tie when I tighten up my bows because I don't have the hang strength to do it any other way unless I have just a small 2-loop bow. Okay, so I pull it under all my mesh, all my ribbon. Take that point, put it through the center here, and zip it up. Oh, and just a second. I buy these at Home Depot, sorry, and they are 12 inches long. So whatever hardware store you have, I'm sure they have zip ties. This is 12 inch. So I take my needle nose pliers and I kind of crank it up a little bit. Okay? Kind of move your loops and your tails if you like, whatever you like. Okay? Then you're going to take your fingers and push up that center and twist your zip tie to the back. Make sure you don't lose your stack and zip that up. Sorry, I was out of frame. I apologize. Okay. Yeah, I missed my stack a little bit, but that's okay. Now tighten that up. Let's get rid of this. Hot Mess Express here, but that's what we have. Okay. Take your center loop, whatever center loop you want. Well, I only have one, so it's pretty easy to figure out. Take your tails. This is how I do it. I take my tails and I pull them to the front, whatever tails I want to go in the front, and then I flip it and do the same thing except I do the top tails. Okay, so you want to make sure they're going the way you want them to go, as well as going to the bottom of that tail right in here and straightening it out, pulling that out, because that makes in exactly the same way as you do your loops. You do the same thing with your loops, okay? You make sure that that little center bump is nicely, the divot is pulled out of it. I think I got this wrong. I think I did those tail, I think I got this burlap tail wrong. Let me see if I, or too short. Let me see if I can pull that out a little bit. Okay, that's okay. I think that'll work. Okay, So again, looks like a hot mess, but let's put this on the wreath and see what we have. But I have to cut this off, cut off that zip tie. And then I use these long 20-inch zip, oops. Sorry, I was out of frame. I got these 20-inch zip ties when Lori had them. I'm not sure if she has them anymore, but if not, you can just use you can twist two pipe cleaners together in the middle, or just use one zip tie. I just like longer zip ties. Again, with my hands, I find it just easier to not have to worry about the shorter zip ties. Okay, but that's because of my issue with my hand. Okay, so let's find the center of this bundle of ribbon. Sorry, I'm having trouble here. I take that pipe cleaner and wrap it around. Sorry, I can't see that zip tie for some reason. Oh, you know why? I don't have my glasses on. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Okay. Take your pipe cleaner around the center of that zip tie, okay, on top of that zip tie, and just pull your pipe cleaner around and twist it a couple times just to keep it secure. Okay, now let's see. I typically put my bow right here, one to the center, left of the center. Okay, so opposite the side my bow is, or my sign is on. I'm going to go left to center. So one over left to center, I'm going to go through the mesh and I'm going to put it through the middle hole and the outside hole. And we'll see how that goes. Okay, let me just, gives me a second here. Got to flip that around. Okay, again, same thing with the sign, or as well with the bow. Just like we did with the sign, you don't want to flatten your mesh. Like, you don't want to pull your bow so tight that it does that. Okay? You want it to puff up. You want it to, you know, be secure, but you don't want it to be squished. So let's just loosely tighten up that bow. Fluff it out and see what we have here. Might have to move it, might have to tighten it. See how it goes here. What time is it? Oh, 12:52. Okay. So then you just move your tails wherever or however you like. And then cut your tails. Now, I'm going to keep my tails long, but I guarantee you I probably will cut them as we add things in it, okay? And I cut this one so long, I'm not sure why I did that, but that's okay. Okay. So let's get my ribbon scissors. I just fold them in half to do the dovetail. That's all I do with mine, and no, I do not measure them. I cut them as I go. These smaller ones I usually slant cut. If I find that they're too short, or not too short, too long, I'll cut more as I go. Usually when I add my magic bucket, or my bucket of magic, I find I do have to cut more because I add things and they interfere perhaps, but that's how I do it. That's how I do my tails. I don't measure them to cut them the same. See, they're just kind of there. I might put another piece of mesh actually under this sign because she's tilting a little bit, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to fix that because it's kind of bugging me. Okay, so let's cut these tails first. Any questions so far? You guys are quiet today. I guess no questions is good. Okay, so let me just tighten this up a little bit more. That's cute though, hey? What do y'all think? That sign I just think is adorable, honestly. Super cute. Now, if a person wanted, you could literally walk away, I think. You know, fix your tails, like your ribbon tails over here. Make sure everything's kosher and straight, and I think, you know, you could just walk away from that. Now, I'm going to explain something to you. See how this sign, it's a 10-inch sign, right? I'm usually used to an 8-inch sign. I don't have this trouble with an 8-inch sign, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fix that. If you don't mind spending a few more minutes watching me do this, and then that's great. I'm going to use a 12-inch zip tie, and I'm just going to put it anywhere I can find 2 holes. Just does not matter. Okay. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yeah, thank you, Alicia. Yeah, you could not add anything else to it. Okay, but you know, I'm going to add something to it. I hate to say it, but I am. Now, that piece of mesh that I used as an example for the poofs, I'm just going to use that last piece. I'm going to use my electric scissors. I'm just going to cut this frayed edge off though, okay? This does not have to be perfect because it's going to just be underneath my sign. But I still want to make it neat, okay? These electric scissors, by the way, are great if you have sore hands. Now, I'm just going to ruffle this up, okay? Just going to ruffle this up a little bit. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to do it curl up because I want it to hold this sign. Okay, I'm having trouble with the sign sinking. So we don't want a sinking sign. So I'm just going to put an extra piece of mesh right here. And I think that might help. And I'm probably going to do that with the sign as well, which I have done before on other lives. I've shown you that I've put a piece of mesh under the sign if I want it more poofy, like to sit upwards. Okay, so you see now, well, you'll see in just a second actually. Once I get this in here, you will see what I mean. I need my handy dandy yarn needle here. I'm having trouble. Once you use a pipe cleaner, the curled ends, eh? They're not as cooperated. They don't cooperate as much. Oh, hi, Lane. You can watch replay, my friend. We are making this adorable Highland cow calf wreath with sunflowers. I'm going to have a little bit of bucket of magic today, which I haven't had in the last couple of lives because I've done flowers. Okay, so you see how this worked. Now it's not so, it doesn't tilt as much because I put that extra piece of mesh in there. Does that make sense? Do you see the difference? Like before it would tilt in like that, you know. Now, if I put that piece of mesh properly, it sits even. Now it's even. I don't know if you can tell. Can you tell, my friends? No sinking signs allowed. That's right, Lynn. But do you see the difference? I'm hoping you can see the difference. It's kind of hard, you know, on camera. I'm going to do the same thing with this sign, actually, because I have, listen, I have a little bit of that mesh left on a roll. I am not going to use that for anything, okay? There is nothing, there's not enough there for me to do anything. So again, I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm just going to cut off a piece. It doesn't even have to be measured. I'm just going to cut a piece, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to roll, ruffle up, roll, 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 just like that. Yes, it's a big difference. And no one is going to see this extra piece of mesh. Okay? You're going to think, oh, it's not even, it's not, you know, cohesive to the rest of the wreath. No one is going to know that it's sitting there. So let me just find the spot. I'm going to put this one for the bow. I'm going to put it right here. I will show you one left where I put my bow. I'm going to put a piece of mesh first. And yes, there's a poof there, and yes, it probably will flatten it down a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to put this one curl up though. You got to spread the C's here, part the C's, get that piece of mesh in. I know it's going to mangle that up a little bit, but we will straighten that out. Okay, does anyone have questions as to why or what my method of madness is here? Oh, do you have the same sign, Elaine? Oh, I can't wait to see what you do for your granddaughter. She'll love it, hey? Now, friends, if you are not familiar with Unique Wreath Creators on Facebook, please, after this live, go and join the Facebook page on Facebook, or the Unique in the Creek. Sorry, let me start again. The Unique Wreath Creators page on Facebook. It's a free page where people, anyone can post your designs, and it's great inspiration. Okay, so now I'm going to take that bow and I'm going to go through those exact same holes, exact same holes. I hiccuped there, I think. Exact same holes that I used that mesh zip tie. I'm going to go right over top of it. I will show you. Okay. Look how cute that looks. That is adorable. Is that not adorable? What do y'all think? Okay, little stuck here. Hang on a second. I need to adjust this mesh. Oh, there we go. Again, it gives it a little bed. I have done this on other wreaths. Sometimes you don't have to do it. Okay, but sometimes with the bigger signs especially, or depending on the mesh you use, you may need to do that. But see, now my bow is not floating either. Like it's not sturdy, but you know, it's sitting nicely there. Okay, so you can adjust your tails and your bow loops any way you like. And again, I'll probably go through here, and I probably will have to adjust them as well as my tails. Oh, I forgot that tail actually. Okay, so there it is so far. Okay, without too much, without too many adjustments on the tails or anything like that, or playing around with the loops. I haven't really, you know, played around with the loops all that much. Okay, or separated them properly. But when you have this many ribbons, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's a full bow, right? What do you think? Yay, nay, cute, no? Looks fabulous. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a... the sign is just adorable. If nothing else, get those signs because they're adorable, okay? So here we go. You could just walk away, say bye-bye. If you want me to walk away, we can, right? These tails are long, so they'll hang there. We'll just use our finger scissors and, oopsie, cut that tail. And you can call it a day, right? But I think most of you want me to use the bucket of magic, right? If you don't want to see the bucket of magic, this is what the wreath will look like, with just a bow, mesh, tails, and this adorable 10-inch sign. Isn't that cute? Okay, so here's the top, the bow and that extra piece of mesh, one over, right here. And this is the sign, 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom on the outside 2 holes. Of course, I will take these off and clean it all up when I'm done. So Bucket of Magic, if you want to stay for that, please do, because I'm going to pull it out and we have a whole bunch of different options. Now, if you know me, you know that I put lots of things in my Bucket of Magic. Doesn't mean I'm going to use it all. Just let me clean up here a little bit. Okay, so for greenery, it has a little bit of purple in the sign. Not sure if you can see that very well. If you go on the Unique website to get a clearer picture without the ring light in it, it's got a little bit of purple. So then I thought, well, I don't have any lavender, which is too bad. I had these purple Evafoam leaves from Unique in the Creek, but I don't know if they match the, I don't think it looks right, personally. Now the magic begins. Yes, thank you, Deborah. But I may use these. Now these are greens from the shop. I'm not sure if you folks in the States can get greenery. I apologize, I don't know that. But this was originally from Unique in the Creek. They're lavender tipped greens, okay? They're more of a subdued green, which I kind of wanted. I didn't want anything too in your face, okay? Also, I have these greens as well as, oh, you cannot, Lynn. Okay, I apologize, my friends. I got these greens from Unique in the Creek before all this tariff stuff happened, like a few months back. So I've had this in my stash already, and I apologize. But you can use any greens, okay? Again, this is just techniques that we show you to help you design. You don't have to do the exact same things we do. All right, my friends? I also have this from Michaels, okay? So you probably can get this from Michaels. They're purple tinged pushers. I'm going to show you what one looks like because I think this might be pretty. Just going to guesstimate where I'm going to cut that. But see, it's got this sort of subdued green. It's not that bright in your face emerald green, which is what I want. I want the more subdued green. Okay, so I thought I could put some of that in here because it has the purple tinge. Now, when I take a picture later, yeah, I don't think the Evafoam either, Lynn. It's too bright. You'll be able to see that a little bit better. But you see, it's green, but with just a purple. And I think that'll be good. I think that'll be pretty. I have these things. I don't know where they came from. They are well, they look really pale in the camera, but they are a purple as well. So I could also cut them shorter and I could, you know, stick a couple in there because again, I don't know where they came from. I am trying to use up supplies that I already have. Of course, I have sunflowers, okay? So I have different sizes of sunflowers, little purple nubby things. I think that came from, well, somewhere. And I also have the yellow tinged greenery from Unique in the Creek as well. You Canadians, if you want to get these, they're a great deal. Like, you get a ton of greenery on this bush. And in Canada, I mean, Lori sells this for, I don't even know what she sells it for. It's incredibly cheap. Okay? And then we all know about these flowers that were really, really popular a few years ago. Everybody was doing these flowers on the ring boards. You know, you cut off the things and you put them on the ring board and you go all the way around the ring board. A thistle. Yes, Deborah. I think it is a thistle. So I also have these that we could tuck off, like just cut. I don't want a lot of the green, but cut off a little bit and tuck it in just for the yellow. Or I can put a few sunflowers in there. I don't want to actually go overboard on the sunflowers because there's these adorable sunflowers on the sign. I don't know if it needs too many sunflowers. Anyway, that is the Bucket of Magic options today. What do you think? Did I choose okay? I also had some ficus leaves. No, sorry, ruscus. I also have these ruscus leaves. Are these $4, Ruth? Wow, that's an incredible deal. I mean, I ordered some more of these on my last order that came in last week. Listen, if that's all it is, then go get some. Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, we've got them in Canada. Unfortunately, the States is a totally different story. Isn't that weird how that's opposite now, that the Canadians have things that the Americans don't? It was never like that before. Anyway, not political. I don't want to get into that. But I apologize if I'm using things that you cannot get, but Craft Outlet will probably have it. Okay? Yeah, the ruscus is pretty, and it is a nice green. It's not in your face emerald green, but it's a nice green. So I think I might use some of those. We'll keep that aside, but I think this purple for sure. I think the purple will look pretty. Maybe not in every one, but I'm going to cut a few off of here. Well, I'll cut all of them. I mean, there's no point keeping one on a stem, right? Okay, so let's see what we have here. Oh, did you, Ruth? Yeah, it's a good deal. So these are pushers again, so I'm going to cut that stem off. Now, you know me, I do not commit. I go through it, and then I see what I want to do. If it looks okay, then after I will glue it, okay? So let's see what it looks like, first of all, before we get into it all. In real life, that purple is quite pretty. I think this is still too long, so let's just put that off a bit. There we go. So I might put one in every one until I decide if I'm going to put flowers, because if I put flowers, I won't put them in every one. That makes sense. Might put them in every other, and then a flower maybe. We could try that. Under the bow, I will probably just put greenery because you won't really see the flowers, but I'll have some longer greenery. Now, I steamed these flowers because they were a little like squishy, but they're still a little squishy. But this is about the best I can do. But I did steam them. So let's see what it looks like here. If I put a flower, again, this may not be where I'm going to put it, okay? Let's try a ruscus, piece of ruscus, because I do like ruscus. I discovered ruscus when I was watching some, I don't even remember who, but I thought, oh, I love that leaf because it's a nice flat leaf. So I think I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut this in 2 pieces. Hopefully I cut it right. Now these are not sunflower leaves, but I'm not a big, I'm not too finicky about that. If the green matches and the flower matches, I'm okay with that. It may not be the sunflower leaf, but it's okay. Well, let's see. Then I would have to put, let's see, if I put 3 flowers on here. Sorry, I just have to calculate where I'm putting things. You like the ruscus too, eh? Yeah, the ruscus is very pretty. Now this is a big sunflower, this one. I'm not sure if I want a really big one up here. No, that's not going to fit. Maybe a smaller one. And again, I don't want them facing all the same way either. But here you kind of want it just kind of up there maybe. I think that was too big. This is too big. This might be okay. Well, I've got some little sunflowers. It's funny, eh, what you keep, what you have hanging around. And again, I'm trying to use what I have. It's not going to be the exact same sunflower, but they'll be close enough, I think. If I put one there, I need to put one here, I think. And one up here, kind of tucked in. I'm thinking might look okay if I take some more ruscus. Tuck it in underneath that bow a little bit. Put these purple ones in here. I'm not sure about the thistles. I don't think I really need the thistles. I need a longer one of this though. Now, let's see. Sorry, sometimes they fall out, right? Can you see what I'm going for here? Okay, these ones are too big. Okay, so let's not do that. But I think I'm going to poke some ruscus out of the bow. Let's cut this off. This is a really nice ruscus leaf. Any questions? Oh, hi, Diana. Yes, no problem. Making this cute Highland cow with a new 10-inch sign from Unique in the Creek. If you're not aware, she has new 10-inch signs now. Do I think this design would also work with an oval sign? I think so. The only thing, I mean, I've done ovals on the Unique in the Creek ring board. Just make sure you put them here on the side. It's not going to really work in the middle. If you want to do that, use an oval board, right? If you want a nice big oval wreath. But I have done it on the ring board. You just have to make sure that the sign sits properly, is all. Again, these ruscus leaves are not going to stay the same. I just do this to get an idea of what it's going to look like if it's sneaking out from the bottom. I'm going to have to cut that, I'm sure. And I'll probably have to cut this one, but I'm just going to sneak it in here so before I cut it. I mean, that looks, I mean, obviously these aren't cut properly, but you know what I mean? Gives us an idea of what the ruscus will look like in there. What do y'all think? Oh, you guys are quiet today. I think I might cut these tails off a smidge too. Let me do that right now. It'll look better, I think. I cut them a little bit. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. You can always send me a picture, Stephanie, if you need help with anything. You can messenger me. I don't mind when people do that. Or if you look at ovals, if you go into Unique Recreators and search oval boards, I bet you could come up with some really pretty designs too there as well. Okay, let's see here. Now, remember the ruscus is a little bit long. I'm going to have to tuck it in a little bit better. But this is what it's going to look like. Oops, without those little remnants of ribbon. Do you like? Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Well, thanks for popping in from work. I appreciate that. Now, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use the thistles. I don't think I'm going to use these, although, you know, a touch of yellow might be pretty too. So many options, right? So many options. I also have this bush. which is also a nice bush. Could add some nice greenery there. Maybe that would be better than the ruscus with the sunflowers. Let me just check. It's all an experiment. Now, unfortunately, yeah, these aren't pushers, which is too bad, but I'll just cut that in two. So I just cut it in two. And let's see what this little guy looks like with the sunflowers. It might look better with the sunflowers, actually, because they're wispier. Let's see. And then I'll just use ruscus maybe in the bow. Options. We'll just cut this up. Again, no use keeping one or two on a stem. Well, for me anyway. I find that I cut them up and I put them in my cut. I have a container, not a container, a box of cut greens so that I'm able to just use them whenever I need one. I also like to put a little bit on top here because I don't do ribbon tails on the center row. Some people will put ribbon tails there. I like to put a little green or something that'll sort of go inside that space. Like, you know, cover that space. I don't want it completely blank. Yeah, see, I kind of like this frilly green with the sunflower. Let's see here. I'll show you guys. Again, I will post the finished wreath in Unique Wreath Creators, and I'll also post a picture of it in the thread for this event. And so you guys will be able to see it all glued and finished up. So there you go. What do you think? I kind of like that. I kind of like these greens. Do you like these little greens with the sunflowers? And then the ruscus will come hanging down from the bowl. Let me try to hang this up without anything falling out of it. Let me see, okay? If you could just give me a second here. Oops. Man down, man down. A couple men are down here. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Let's see here if I can keep it in there so you can get an idea of what it... Dang, I lost the sunflower now. That's the problem when you don't glue ahead of time, eh? But I'm just always scared to commit. I'm a non-committer. Okay, I'm going to pull you up. Hi, hi. Okay, so those ruscus leaves are too long. So I'm obviously going to cut those down. I'll just kind of bend them for now so they don't look so large and looming. Does that give you an idea of what it looks like? Let me back up here. Yeah, see, it's a little bit off balance because they're not glued in properly. Like they're not even on the ends. So this one has to go in a little bit. I have to adjust that sign a little bit. I might have to cut these tails a little bit. But they're just tweaks. This just gives you an idea of what it looks like. I think that sign is so cute though. I think whatever you do with that sign, you can't really make a mistake because she's so adorable. Right? So adorable. Always fiddling with the bow, right? Always fiddling with the bow. What do y'all think? Right? I might change these purples out to be all these green too. I haven't quite decided yet. But the purple tips they are pretty, right? They are pretty. They have these, you know, I don't know if you could see, little slightly purple tips on them. The difference in color between the sign and sunflowers. You mean the color of the yellow then? Yeah, these ones are a little bit brighter, I guess, than these. But I don't have, I mean, these are really bright. These sunflowers here are really bright compared to this. These ones are more subdued. I think they look okay in real life, Lynn, but it's hard. It's hard to see, right? You do dry runs, yeah. I'm not a committer, Stephanie. Yeah, Deborah, I think these frilly greens look better with the sunflowers. Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, the yellows, I guess this is more of a golden right yellow, I think, Lynn? More subdued yellow, and these are, oops, man down, but these are a more bright yellow. But because they're not sitting right on the sign, like if I put this wreath or this sunflower right here, it's going to be really bright, right? But it's a little bit further away, and there's so much green, I don't know. I think it looks okay in person. Oh, thank you, Deborah, my bow. I mean, I have two little packs of little sunflowers. Oh, I could maybe poke a little sunflower up here. Well, you get the idea, right? I could poke a little sunflower in there somewhere. Oops. Anyway, everything keeps falling out, but that's okay. This goes here. But once I get everything, like I need a longer green. I need a little bit longer greenery here. Okay, well, you know what? You get the idea, right? Everything keeps falling off. But I want to make sure my perimeter is nicely shaped. I don't want, long greens over here and then nothing over here, if that makes sense. You want it kind of cohesively circled. Yeah, Lynn, I think it'll look better once I get everything in there. All the greens sorted out and the bow fluffed like how I want. And I need this sign a little bit. I need it a little bit straighter. But I'll fix that off camera. And again, I will post the picture of it in Unique Wreath Creators. If you want a close-up of it, again, this sign is the Unique in the Creek new signs. If you look at the new signs on the website, oh my goodness, Lori, I think, did 100 or 150 new signs or something crazy like that. And they're available in 6, 8, and 10-inch sizes, as well as vinyls. If you like vinyls, thank you, Margaret. If you don't want a sign, you can do a vinyl. So this is what it's going to look like in the end once everything is glued in and cohesively cut, tucked, pushed back, whatever. There it is. Oops, there it is right there. Oops, sorry, off. It's really hard to tell where the camera is. Well, I know where the camera is, but oops. There we go. So that'll give you an idea of where I'll place things and glue things. And she's so cute. Anyway, I have some really cute signs. I've ordered fall and Christmas already. I won't be working on those quite yet, but if you want some new signs or you need some inspiration, go check out uniqueinthecreek.com. I apologize that not all of these supplies are available to everyone that watches these lives. Again, these tutorials are just meant to help you use whatever supplies you have, whether it's a different mesh or a different ribbons, different signs, different greenery, whatever. It just gives you an idea of how you can incorporate what you have in your stash to make a really beautiful wreath. But uniqueinthecreek.com does have some amazing supplies on both sites, okay? The ribbons and mesh, the signs, of course, all the boards, all that has not changed, okay? There has been things about the greenery and some mesh, etc. But please go check out uniqueinthecreek.com. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you are new to the page. Again, and I thank you for joining me today. Are there any questions? Anything? Yes, Stephanie, I'll be posting it probably, well, in a few hours. I have to wait for the sun to go down on my fence because it's way too bright. So hopefully in a couple hours I'll be able to get a picture and I will post it straight away. Okay. So thank you again very much. I'm not sure when I will be on again, but probably in a couple weeks. I'm thinking, or on a Thursday. Just keep your notifications on for Unique in the Creek on Facebook, and you will get notified, as well as on YouTube. Subscribe, hit all notifications, and you'll get notifications there as well if you prefer watching on YouTube. Okay, so thank you again, all my friends. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you spending a part of your day with me, as always. Stay safe, happy crafting, and we'll see you soon.